Okay, so before we get started, the audio that I recorded in the original footage was actually garbage, so here's me with the voiceover. Sorry for the continuity issues, for the non-continuity. So, Japan. I just spent 12 days perusing the country, hanging out with family, looking at things from high up, and eating lots of things. And now I'm back home in the US. This is my first time being back in Japan since 2017, so the last time I was there was more than 6 years ago. Basically, when I had just graduated high school, so here's a picture of me. I was traveling with my family, and we got to see some relatives that we haven't really seen in a long time, so that was really nice. Everyone had grown up since the last time I saw them. Like, my little cousin is now a full-time college student. It was crazy. So in this video, I want to recap all the places that I went to in Hokkaido, and the things I ate in said places. And maybe give some recommendations if you're ever looking to visit these places yourselves. Let's get to it. I sat on a plane for 13 hours from Newark to Haneda and then immediately flew up to Shinchitose Kuko, or Shinchitose Airport, which is the airport closest to the city of Sapporo, which took about an hour and a half. So in total, about 16 hours of travel time. So day one. Now I got started right in the airport. You know, Shinchitose Kuko has a whole bunch of shops, whole bunch of souvenir shops, restaurants, even a hot spring that you can go to if you want to kill some time before your flight or after your flight. But the place that I was heading to was called the Hokkaido Ramen Dojo. So picture this, you just got off a cramped flight, you're beat, you've been traveling for like 16 hours, you don't even know if you're hungry or not, then you take one whiff of the air here, and yes. So this place is basically like a conglomeration of 10 different ramen shops that are popular in the Hokkaido area, and each shop has their own unique style of ramen. So you have ones that specialize in ones with grilled corn, miso ramen with butter and corn. You even have a shop that specializes in shrimp-based ramen, which you don't really see around. The one that I ended up going to was called Sapporo Hien. This shop's forte is their Garu Sapporo Shio, or salt ramen, that was actually featured on the Michelin Guide in Hokkaido in 2017. The Hokkaido version, or I guess the Michelin Guide Hokkaido version in 2017, so you know it's legit. Their broth is chicken and fish-based, which makes for a light but well-rounded and full-bodied sip. Also comes with some toppings like chopped scallions, memma or seasoned bamboo shoots, chashu or marinated pork, and some fried garlic chips on top. So if you combine all those toppings, along with some scraggly, medium thickness noodles, you got yourself a bowl of perfection that tastes just like you've made a core memory with your best friends. It's deep and it's rich and it warms you from the inside out. I mean, this might be dramatic, but I think it's the best miso ramen of my life. Price is this. I'm going to be rating these places out of 5, so everything is standardized. A rating of 5 means I would make the effort to go back to this place because I can't stop thinking about it. A rating of 0 means I probably wouldn't go back. Simple enough. My rating for Sapporo Hien is a 4.1 out of 5. Maybe it was a combo of fatigue and hunger from traveling that day, but we're starting off on a very high note. Then after, I hit second dinner at Osaka Osho in Sapporo, but I'm not going to rate it because it's not exclusive to the Hokkaido area. It was good though, it was very good. So, day 2. Day 2 in Sapporo, or Sapporo. So, as you may know, Sapporo is famous for their beer. You know, like the beer that you've seen around. This Sapporo Beer Company was founded in 1876 and is the oldest beer company in Japan. Now, I don't know what kind of fermentation technology they were using back in 1876, but they figured it out. So the Sapporo Beer Company have this complex, and within this little complex they have a museum, they have a beer garden, a little gift shop, and a restaurant that you can go to, and it's a nice tourist attraction for those who want to learn about the history of Sapporo beer and or have some great food and good beer. So where I went to was this restaurant called Garden Grill, and I had 2 main objectives here. Drink Sapporo beer from the tap. Number 2, to eat Genghis Khan. So what do I mean when I said I'm gonna eat Genghis Khan? What I really mean is I'm gonna have Genghis Khan. So let's backtrack a little bit. Genghis Khan, or Genghis Khan in Japanese, is thinly sliced grilled lamb meat with vegetables that's super famous in Hokkaido. There are a couple of theories on why this dish is called Genghis Khan or Genghis Khan. There is this theory that the Japanese army used Hokkaido to cross into modern-day China and Mongolia. They adopted their lamb eating practices and named it after Genghis Khan for the dude that was chilling in Mongolia at the time. And apparently Genghis Khan used to eat lamb meat at night. I don't know. And if I'm being honest, it doesn't really matter where anything came from. All I know is that Hokkaido doesn't mess around when it comes to their meat. Hokkaido also prides themselves on their beef. So this is pure Hokkaido grown black Wagyu beef. This is nuts. I'm talking real melt in your mouth, super fatty, combined with a slight char from the cast iron pan and the sweet yakiniku style sauce. That's some good stuff. Of course, the beer. They have exclusive beer on draft, and I tried the Sapporo Classic. I'm not a beer guy, so I can't really tell you what like the notes and the aromas and whatnot are, but it tasted good, and I think it paired well with the meat. It's maybe better than a Keystone, so that's your reference. My rating for Sapporo Grill is a 4.4 out of 5. Can't really do much better than that. You know, although expensive, you get what you pay for. This is what I paid, or this is what we paid, or here are the prices for each dish. You can see it. I recommend getting a reservation if you can, just to make sure you have a spot. But if you don't, whatever, they probably take walk-ins too. So after the Sapporo Beer Garden, I went to another famous tourist spot, which is the Shiroi Koibito. Now, Shiroi Koibito is a famous Hokkaido-based cookie. It's a French-inspired langue de chat with a slice of white chocolate sandwich between little biscuits. And it's phenomenal. It's light and it's crispy and it's This park is an attraction built around production facility of these cookies, and they have they have these little shows. They have a museum, they have a factory tour, which I was very interested in. They have restaurants and they have cafes and like good vibes all around. This flower garden with these tulips. It was pretty crowded when we went, but again, popular tourist spot, so that's to be expected. So when we first got there, I tried their signature soft serve ice cream. It's huge and it looks very picturesque, but if I'm being honest, it was okay. They're just soft serve. The factory tour is super cool if you're into that kind of thing, which again, like I am, you get to see each little step of the cookie being made. If you're trying to lose yourself in the world of confections and sweets and flowers and pretty architecture for a little bit, this is your place. Later that day, we took a train to Otaru. Now, Otaru is a city right on the coast of Hokkaido, known for their canal with all these eateries and shops and cafes right on it. However, I didn't get a chance to go to this canal because I was super jet lagged and we didn't really have enough time. But again, that's a very touristy spot. I'm sure it's very pretty. We did end up finding a super local place for dinner called Otomi with Hokkaido style food like sushi. Well, I guess sushi you can find it everywhere in Japan, but there's sushi and also zangi, which is Hokkaido fried chicken. And so I was misinformed here, and zangi is just fried chicken that uses soy sauce as a base and has a saltier taste than a regular karaage. And a fried rice ball, fried onigiri, and a dashi broth, which is great. It was light and it was very cozy. I give it a 3.2 out of 5. You know, it was like they're welcoming us into their house for dinner, and it was very home style. Okay, day 3. Day 3 consisted of us traveling to Hakodate by car. Now, Hakodate is a southern port city with a big mountain right next to it called Hakodate Mountain. And they have a bunch of stuff to do, but before we do that, on the way, we found this little ice cream shop called Elephant, or Itafi, which uses fresh local milk to make their ice cream and soft serves and yogurts and whatnot. For those that know me, I love ice cream. Had to stop by, and I didn't even end up getting ice cream. I got their frozen yogurt with honey on it, but it was the best frozen treat I've had all trip, like by far. So fresh and light, and like the little honey drizzle on top gave like that punch of sweetness I was looking for. And it was just so overall pleasant. It was just great. It was awesome. It is in the middle of nowhere near Yakumo, so I doubt you'll find yourself in that area, but if you do, it's worth a visit. I give it a 3.7 out of 5. Now, moving on to Hakodate. Hakodate was my favorite city in Hokkaido. And I say that because they have a lot of things going for them. Like, you know, good views, a lively city that's open late, local shops, street food, everything. You can go to the top of Hakodate Mountain for sunset and night to basically overlook all the city, and it's super nice. There's a bus route and there's a little ropeway that takes you to the top of the mountain. Fair warning though, again, super popular tourist spot, so it's gonna be packed with people. So just be prepared for some crowds, and if you want to get a good picture of the skyline and from above, you might have to wait. But you know, it's Japan, it's a crowded place. After a long day of traveling and driving for hours through Hokkaido, we wanted something casual, but still solid. So we wandered around town and found this little alleyway called Daimon Yokocho, with these small shops called yatais, or yatai. I guess you can call it street food, but there's ramen, there's yakitori, there's even a Korean place. So they have all these different kinds of foods that you can just sit in, just walk up to the yatai, or the little shop, and just take a seat, chat with some locals, the cooks and the chefs, and I'm sure they'll be happy to share. Everyone's super friendly, and the food is phenomenal. We ended up at Ramen Ryu. And as you can see, this broth was much lighter than the one I had at Shinchito's airport. It's almost like you can see through it, and that's one of their selling points. It's a chicken-based broth again, like Sapporo Otaru, but much lighter. Not like it was lacking in flavor in any way. It was the kind of bowl of ramen that you could finish drinking all the broth and you wouldn't feel bogged down or like super sluggish after. Just what I needed. Give this place a 4.0 out of 5. You know, the vibes were immaculate, as people may say. So day 4. This morning we woke up super early at like 4 a.m. to go hit the morning fish market in Hakodate, right next to the train station. It turns out you can be too early because when we got there at like 4:35, nothing was open because everything opened at 6. But that gave us a little bit of time to walk around and just observe the city early in the morning when no one's out and about. And it kind of made me want to be a morning person, you know? I think it would be nice if you could just like walk outside, or if you just take a walk and there's no one on the roads, but I think I sleep way too late for that. Anyways, I hate the morning, but whatever, doesn't matter. But I do love this morning market. Once the stores opened up, I started chatting with this one friendly dude at a dried fish store called Aimoto Suisan. And he gave me this whole spiel about salmon roe and how they prepare it and the difference between different types of dried fish and how you can tell just by looking at the skin. And he was so friendly. And he ended up talking to us for like 20-25 minutes. We really learned a lot. Did I retain any of it? Maybe no, but he was still super friendly, and I'm grateful that he took the time to kind of sell us in. Now, honestly, like there are so many shops in this fish market that you can all go to, and I bet the quality is all super high and everything's delicious. It's a great place to hop around and eat a bunch of different things at a bunch of different shops, depending on what you're preferring, if it's squid or crab or salmon or fish or whatever it may be. This is my bad, but I actually don't remember the name of the shop that we went to when we had breakfast. So my apologies, but the place had freshly grilled scallops, a sashimi bowl, or a kaisen don. They even gave us small tarabagani, or taraba crabs, free. I don't know about you, but I like free stuff. So Hakodate Morning Market gets a rating of 3.6 out of 5. It's super local stuff, and everyone's so friendly. You can't go wrong here. Most places also have English signs, so even if you don't speak Japanese, it's easy to navigate and you're not going to run into any trouble. So that was my time in Hokkaido. It was a short but packed 4 days of action. It was a beautiful place. I love Hokkaido. And if you're looking for great seafood and great meat, Hokkaido is the place to go. It is a little far and out of the way, but you know, the flight from Tokyo to Hokkaido is like an hour and a half. Not even. In the winter, it's a good place to ski. So I've never skied in Hokkaido, so I plan on going back sometime in the winter. But what I want to reiterate is that Hokkaido food is phenomenal, and you're gonna find good food anywhere you go in Hokkaido. You really can't go wrong. That was part 1 of my trip. Part 2, I actually did end up flying back to Tokyo and spent the rest of my trip in the Kanto area, or like the central area right by Tokyo. But that's part 2, and it's coming soon. Thank you for your time, and as always, everybody eats. See you later.